All right, so today we are going deep on Burna Boy.
Okay.
You want to know what's made him such a global star,
Mm-hmm.
especially how he's blown up here in the U.S.?
Right.
And you want to understand how he's become this, like, ambassador for African music and culture worldwide.
Yeah, big questions for sure.
Yeah, so to get to the bottom of it, we've got bios, articles,
Oh, wow.
reviews even.
I'm excited to dig in.
Yeah, me too. This could be good. So to start us off,
Yeah.
Burna Boy, he wasn't always Burna Boy, right?
Right. His real name is Damini Abunoluwa Ogulu.
Okay.
And he was born back in 1991 in Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
Okay, interesting. And his family was already, like, steeped in music even back then.
Yeah, his grandfather actually managed Fela Kuti.
Whoa, that's
a legend.
a huge name in Afrobeat history.
Absolutely. Fela Kuti was a pioneer.
Okay, so with that kind of background, it's no surprise that Burna Boy found his way to music.
Right. It was almost inevitable.
Yeah, but what should people who are, like, brand new to Burna Boy listen for? What are the essential parts of his sound?
Well, you'll definitely hear those early influences, Fela Kuti, for sure.
Okay.
But also King Sunny Ade, you know? And even some of those Bob Marley reggae vibes in there, too.
It's interesting how he, like, blends everything together.
Yeah, that's what makes him so unique. He takes those roots and then throws in some dance hall, some hip hop, even pop and R&B.
That's like a whole recipe.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's what makes his style, what they call Afrofusion.
Okay, so Afrofusion, it's more than just a mix of genres, right?
Right. It's a whole new soundscape.
And it clearly works because his debut album, Life, back in 2013,
Yeah.
it sold 50,000 copies on its first day.
On day one.
That's before streaming was even, like, the main thing.
That was unheard of, especially in the Nigerian music scene back then.
Yeah, so he was already a major player right out of the gate.
Absolutely. It put him on the map alongside, like, WizKid.
Okay.
It really solidified him as a force to be reckoned with.
But it wasn't enough to just be big in Nigeria, right? He wanted to go global.
Oh, absolutely. And that ambition was there from the beginning.
So how did that happen? When did things really start to take off internationally?
Well, there's the album African Giant in 2019.
Okay.
That was the turning point. It wasn't just a hit. It got international critical acclaim.
Yeah.
And then there was the Beyoncé collaboration for The Lion King. The Gift.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. I was just thinking about that.
You can't underestimate that.
Yeah, that put him in front of a whole new audience.
Millions of people who might have never even heard of Afrobeats before.
Right. And it's Beyonce we're talking about.
Exactly. One of the biggest names in music putting a spotlight on this rising artist, this sound.
It's a powerful statement.
It really was. It sent a message, not just about Burna Boy's talent, but about the potential of African music.
It's like the world started paying attention.
Yeah, and Burna Boy, he didn't just ride that wave of popularity, he used that platform.
How so?
He started speaking out about African identity, about social justice, about pride in your heritage.
He's not afraid to get political.
Not at all. He's using his voice.
Which a lot of artists shy away from these days.
It's true. He's tapping into something deeper.
Like what?
This yearning for representation, for stories that haven't always been told.
Especially on a global stage.
Right. And people are responding to that. It's a cultural moment we're witnessing.
Okay, so like specifically in his lyrics, where do we see that?
Oh, there are tons of examples. Like in Another Story,
Okay.
he's challenging colonial narratives, highlighting those struggles of the African people that are often ignored.
Yeah.
That's powerful stuff.
And it's not just those big picture themes, right?
Right. In Collateral Damage, for example, he's directly criticizing political violence in Nigeria.
Wow. So he's really putting it all out there.
He is. It's this mix of infectious beats and those thoughtful lyrics that makes him so compelling.
So we've got this musical talent, global ambition, and a powerful message. It's no wonder he's become such a phenomenon.
It's more than just Kenji tunes.
It's a movement.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that movement just keeps growing. Like he's selling out Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah.
Wembley Stadium. I mean,
It's insane.
these aren't just concerts, they're cultural events.
You're right. It really shows you his reach,
It does. He connects with people across borders, backgrounds.
It's amazing. And then, of course, the Grammy win for Twice as Tall.
Oh, yeah, 2020.
That felt like a really big deal, not just for him, but for African music as a whole.
It did. It was like a validation, African artists have been making incredible music for years,
Yeah.
pushing boundaries, influencing global sounds. But that Grammy,
Yeah.
it was like the world finally acknowledging it.
Like they were saying, okay, we see.
Exactly, acknowledging the artistry and the innovation coming out of Africa.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about his journey, his message, the success, but let's get into the music itself.
Okay.
What exactly makes his Afrofusion so distinct?
It's not just about mixing genres, it's about how he does it.
How so?
Like, he'll take traditional Yoruba rhythms and layer them over trap beats,
Oh, wow.
or blend a high-life guitar riff with a reggae bass line.
So it's like old and new, local and global all at the same time.
It creates this sound that's familiar but also completely fresh.
It's like he's building on the foundations laid by Afrobeat pioneers like Fela Kuti, but then taking it somewhere completely new.
Yeah, he's pushing the boundaries.
And the critics seem to agree. They've talked about him changing the perception of African music globally,
They have.
highlighting how sophisticated it is lyrically, how culturally significant it is.
Absolutely.
Because there's this idea that African music is just for dancing.
Right.
But Burna Boy is showing that it's so much more.
His lyrics are full of depth, social commentary.
Give me an example.
Okay, so he addresses corruption, police brutality, the need for African unity.
Wow, those are some heavy topics.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I first heard Yay.
Oh, yeah.
The energy of that song was infectious, but it also made me think,
Great.
there was a deeper meaning behind the lyrics.
Exactly. He's not afraid to tackle complex themes, and he does it with so much style.
Yeah, he's got that swagger.
It's no wonder he's resonating with audiences worldwide.
So we've got this musical innovator, this cultural ambassador, and this powerful voice for Africa, all in one person.
It's an incredible story.
It's been a wild ride,
Right.
From his beginnings in Port Harcourt to selling out stadiums across the globe.
And it's a story that's still being written.
That's true.
It's exciting what's happening right now. We're witnessing a cultural shift,
Like how?
a growing appreciation for the diversity and richness of African music.
It feels like a whole new chapter is unfolding.
It does, and Burna Boy is at the forefront of it, but there are so many other talented artists coming up from the continent,
Oh, yeah.
pushing boundaries, captivating audiences all over the world.
Yeah. It feels like we're seeing this whole new chapter in global music.
It really does, and that brings up an interesting question.
Oh, like what?
What does this surge in popularity mean for the future of music as a whole?
That's a good one.
Will we see even more of these cross-cultural collaborations?
Yeah.
More artists blending sounds and styles to create something new?
I think you're right. It makes you wonder if we're moving towards a more interconnected musical landscape,
Yeah.
where genres become more fluid and those influences flow freely across continents.
It's a fascinating thought, Burna Boy's Afrofusion. It could be a microcosm of this larger trend,
Yep.
this musical globalization where artists draw inspiration from a global palette of sounds experiences.
So it's not just about blending music, it's blending cultures.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so rewarding. We've gone beyond just Burna Boy's music
Yeah.
to tap into this bigger story of cultural exchange, musical innovation.
And the power of art to connect us all.
Absolutely. So, as you continue exploring Burna Boy and the wider world of Afrofusion, here's something to think about.
Okay.
How might this genre influence the soundscape of popular music in the years to come? What new hybrid genres might we see, and what stories will they tell?
It's definitely something to ponder. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of Burna Boy.
It's been a journey.
It has. We hope you enjoyed exploring his music and his story with us.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, there's always more to discover.
That's right.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep the music playing.